Hi, I'm Imogen Lamport from Inside Out Style, and today I'm going to talk to you about contrast. So one of the things to think about with contrast is there's two different sorts. One's called value contrast, the other is called colour contrast. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the value contrast. So when you look at someone, if you say look at me, you'd say my skin isn't that white, but it's the next one up. So that is a fairly light colour. Now if you look at my hair, it's actually fairly similar in colour, so again it's in that area there. So there's no contrast there. But my eyes actually have a bit of contrast. They're about halfway up. So when you look at what's my jump, it's from here to here, which is about half of the scale. So therefore I am medium contrast. Now, if we look at someone like this, here we have a very high contrast. We've got very dark skin, very pale hair, so that creates a big contrast between the darkness of the hair, the lightness of the skin, so it creates a high contrast. Here we have a medium contrast. We have a pale skin, but a medium coloured hair and eyes, so that creates a medium contrast because again, it's a halfway jump. Now, if we look at someone like this, we actually have all the colours are the same. It's all down in the deep area. So that actually creates quite a low contrast. But if you're dark like this, but say you have very white teeth or the whites of your eyes, what it actually does is give you contrast with the teeth and the whites of your eyes against your skin and your hair. So that actually also creates a high contrast. Now, when we think about colours, if we are looking at someone and they have lots of colour like this lady, she's got the red hair and the green eyes, what that does is give us a high colour contrast. But her value contrast is only medium, because when you look at her hair, it's not really dark, it's actually in the middle of the spectrum, and her skin's light, so that's a light to medium colour. So again, that's a medium value, but a high colour contrast. It's complementary in colour schemes, so she actually needs to wear lots of colours at the same time, and that will work really well for her. Or here we have someone who is a low colour contrast. We've got the dark hair and the dark eyes, but they're all shades of brown and the medium skin. So she's kind of a medium high contrast. Her hair is not really high in contrast, and so she's a medium high. She's not got really dark, super dark hair or super dark eyes. So medium high contrast in value, but a low colour contrast, because what we're seeing is basically a monochromatic colour scheme here. So monochromatic just means mono, one, chromatic means chroma, means colour. So she's going to look great in either shades of all neutrals, or, because she is all neutral, or she's going to look great in just one colour at a time, so shades of blue, shades of green, shades of burgundy, or whatever it may be. Now, if you're like this, say, where you have like mostly neutral, so here we've got in value contrast, all very, very light, but then a kind of medium, light medium coloured eye, so she's a medium low colour, value contrast, but we've got a bright blue eye, so she's great with some colour. She needs some colour. If she's just dressed in all neutrals, she's going to look really bland. So she needs like a neutral plus a colour. Looks really well on her. Now here you can see on this side, we've got a low contrast where the skin and the hair are the same colours. We've got a high contrast. You can see you'd want to dress them quite differently. So if you're thinking about your contrast, you want to think about both your colour contrast and your value contrast, and how they fit together, and replicate that in what you're wearing, and you'll find that it really suits you. Because I know that when I used to have the very dark hair and the pale skin, I looked great in the high contrast. But now that I've gone blonde, I've gone more medium contrast, and I've had to lower down the contrast of everything I wear, and it looks so much better. It's taken a little while to adjust, so it's something that I've had to rethink all the way I put my clothes together, but it really does make a difference when you're getting dressed. So if you radically change the colour of your hair, it's one of those things you really need to start thinking about is, what is your contrast level today?